Okay.
EKQ Primes.
Hi, good morning. We hope you're well. It says, help someone today and it will be your greatest investment tomorrow. This, I can assure you, is true.
Like someone once said, we live for others.
Yes.
We live for others.
Yes. Even Mandela said that, listen, your ability to help others without expecting anything, taking time out, helping others without expecting anything, really is even more better.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
A quick reminder again, you can call us 020-4738-481, 020-4738-481, or 055-033-1511. How was your weekend? What is motivating you this morning? What is going to keep you going throughout the week? Share it with us, okay? We'll be excited to hear it.
Okay. My good friend from Adabraka, Nana, says that when mind is weak, situation is a problem. When mind is balanced, situation is challenge. When mind is strong, situation becomes an opportunity. Thank you so much, Nana.
Strong mind.
You. Okay, so this is from Dr. Casford from Kumasi. Says that if the road isn't pleasant, take the reins and change directions. Don't let your motivation die. Dabida. Yes.
Don't let your motivation die.
Thank you. Thank you. Just change the road. Okay. Good morning. I am Bridget from Sunyani. My DDOV is, it's never too late to be what you might have been.
Well, yeah, sure. This thing, last
time, Godwin had all of us attention on that, saying that, I mean, I also think that some things might be very late in life.
Some things might be very late in life. Let's be honest. I understand motivation, but also sometimes reality hits. You know that sometimes it's too late for you to do certain things. That's why you are told to hit whilst strike whilst the iron is hot, right?
Yeah. I mean, you want to be, like you said, you can't be a footballer when you're 80.
You're 80. Which team are you going to play
but
for?
But you play for yourself.
No. But
what matters is that you became a footballer.
What you wanted to be was to play for Chelsea.
No.
No, because what you might want to, what you might want to have been. That's what you wanted to be. Yeah.
Okay.
Is to be a footballer at Chelsea, okay? And then you hit 80. Who is going to sign you? Like, it's too late.
You're starting your week very well. You know, motivating people to want to be Chelsea players. You're really.
Oh, I keep saying Chelsea. Oh, Liverpool. That's
you're starting your week very well. Stay in the spirit. Okay. Alberta, thank you for the update. Okay. So. Right, that's it. So sadly, your DDOVs would not come early enough for me to read them for you. They start coming in the middle of the show,
and then
I'm unable to read them out. I want you to wake up to me, but okay. All right, so I am Jefta Amponsa from Obuasi. Says that never allow today's misfortune dissuade you from the beauties of tomorrow. Keep on keeping on. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you so much, Jefta. Okay, guys, that's it for DDOV.
But we have one for them, don't we? Yeah,
yes.
And it's a quote from the man of the moment or the man of the day as we celebrate his day, Mandela. He says, what counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead. I'll take it again. Mandela Day. What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead.
Very true.
Very powerful. Very powerful. And that's our daily dose of info for you this morning. We'll be right back to take you through the Twitter trends this morning. NPP is trending. Transfer window is trending. Who is trending? Who was trending over the weekend?
John Boydu, out of NPP.
John Boydu too was trending. Yeah, we'll talk about all of that briefly. Stay with us.
Hey, go good free body, I send me both.
Okay, sweet, but girl, your love is sweeter. My hair, you day for my hair. I know fit to reset.
The gossip, maybe I was born faithful until the first female suddenly broke a vow.
I feel like you can be my baby.
What
If I broke, now my business. I'll show you, you go buy to.
Yeah, back and you knew I had a permanent fan. Yeah, free cocoa, bingo, yeah, bad things go from a side. I come inside.
No hands. Still I can't believe. You know what I mean? I was young, what you expect from me? It is what it is.
Need the best of in-depth analysis, top personality interviews, trending and breaking news all come your way. I'll be serving you with football conversations, life-hearted, lifestyle-related conversations, all on Off the Cuff. Join me, Derrick and this and every Monday to Friday between 4 and 5 p.m. only on MX24 TV.
Hello guys, welcome back to the AM Club. We're live on MX24 television. We're going to be going for your trends quickly with Mr. Nambo, but quickly before that, the problem of human trafficking is real, both within our borders and across them. Picture a child that you know and love, a niece or nephew, a sibling, maybe even your child, taking away from you to work on the Volta Lake for 8 hours. Now picture yourself, your sister, brother, mother or father deceived to pay money to travel to any of the Gulf countries for work. Picture that your sister gets there and all she experiences is that her passport is taken away from her and she's made to work for 15 hours a day. She's sexually and physically abused daily and she has nowhere to run to. That is the devastating and brutal reality of human trafficking within and across our borders today. Now, as a country, we have the institutions and one of the robust laws to end this dehumanizing problem. We must urgently invest in building a minimum of 10 shelters for male and female survivors within the next 2 years. Let us be each other's keeper by reporting any suspected cases of human trafficking to the nearest police station. We can use our voice, resources, and influence to support the established state institutions in protecting our children, sisters, and brothers against traffickers. Now, together, we can end human trafficking within and across our borders until we are all free. Guys, let's go to Mr. Nambo. He takes us to Twitter trends. Hi, Mr. Nambo.
My goodness, my goodness.
John Boydu, definitely.
Because he's trending at number 2. But I'm wondering why y'all talk is trending over John Boydu.
I think he gave us just a little bit of his
new song.
Yeah, it sounds like
Sophia.
Yeah.
Oh, please. They are dragging him on Twitter. It's so funny. Twitter guys are just crazy. Like,
why are they dragging him? Because what I heard wasn't that bad.
Apparently, you know, and Yao is known to he came into the industry with the drill beats, kind of, like American beats, but he's going sort of soft now. He's doing some very, very interesting Afrobeat songs. So Sophia is one of them, like you said, but for some reason, Twitter users are not pleased. But let's see what they've been saying.
Oh, he's still young. They should leave him to explore.
They should leave the guy to be.
Yeah.
But Coach Sheldon, of course, shares this video of the boys, Malcolm Nuna, Talk himself, and a couple of people jamming to the song. Mimpasa president on Twitter said, why you guys they worry Talk like that? You people sure say the sorry song, Ibi Talk, you do This is from this step. Somebody say Talk, then Article 1, no difference. Them all come do NSS for the industry inside. Charlie. Anyways, I tell you, at Ghana Social U says, They think success is showing off on Twitter. Laugh aloud. Yao Tog and Malcolm are making serious strides in building a physical generational fan base. I don't know what a physical generational fan base is. Physical generational fan base.
Physical, so they can see the fan base that they're building. Some people have an imaginary, a very inconspicuous one. So. Okay.
So a few more before we go. At Ghana Social Users again. Can't wait for the day when Rayo, Nuna, and Yao Tog will hop on the track. Kali J says, you squad the bully Yao Tog dodo. This guy says, me after listening to Yao Tog Sophia song, be like, I wish you could play the video. This Ifira video, you will laugh your head out. All right, so basically that's why Yao Tog is trending. Some are commending him, others are dragging him.
Oh, but it's nice. Mr. Number, what do you think? You heard? Yeah.
Latif, I haven't enjoyed Yao Tog after his Sorry, and you know the drill beats he was jumping on. Even his track with Joey B was also fire. I like him as a hip hop artist. I don't know if I like this Afrobeat and this cool.
I mean, so he's still young. He may have the talent, but he still has got room to explore and experiment. Once the song is good, we shouldn't put him in a box.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I agree with you. So this guy, let me end with this guy. The _ Macaulay _ boy says, a Nigerian will drop a nice song entitled Emiliana, Make It Break Boundaries. But we have Yao Tog here dropping Sophia. We Yeditra Asante Bekwai. I'll leave it here, please. You people are not good though. John Boydu, of course, is trending.
Yeah.
Former General Secretary of the New Patriotic Party. So Joyce Bawa Mokhtari says the establishment at Jubilee House must be fuming. President Akufo-Addo's machinations to manipulate the outcome of the election has fallen down flat. The biggest loser being John Boydu. Interesting. Mo Ajiman Nyame says, what happened to John Boydu after the election? Hey, Chairman to me. I saw an interview with Chairman to me where he was asked the question and he kept, giving signs and all that. He couldn't speak because he had openly, supported
John Boydu.
Together with the other 15.
I mean, it's not quite far from reality if he did support him.
Why?
I think for an incumbent, it's easy to want to have people around because you've established better relationships. You're we assume that you're on the ground there, and Chairman Wuntumi is supposedly also on the ground there. And so if he tries to, level up with somebody he's been working with for some time, it's not surprising.
But he rallied all the other 15 chairmen, regional chairmen, to, and said that he had come to a conclusion to vote for John Boydu.
Yeah.
And now this is very disappointing. So what's the relationship between those chairmen and this new general secretary going to be? Now his position is above them.
Well,
the person they were turning against,
well,
sort of. Anyways, John Boydu going to pack his things from the NPP's headquarters, and there he is in his nice shoe and weed socks. This Bongo Ideas guys on Twitter says, now that John Boydu has lost his position in the NPP, who is going to...
Are you serious? Are you serious?
I had to stop myself because what this guy said. Wow. Hey, my goodness. Okay. It has been confirmed that John Boydu lost the General Secretary position due to COVID-19 and Russia-Ukraine war. And he says, what COVID-19 and Russia-Ukraine war cannot do does not exist. Oh my goodness. Chimmy Jonas tweeted and says, we will always spread the truth. Who is also watching Weekend to Warm Up on YouTube or Facebook? Why is NPP John Boydu crying? What's going on in Ifumuho? Is it true that John Mahama's daughter is twerking? Seriously, looking for him. Oh, goodness. Trini Jonas, this morning, glass in Kwa, he says. Very interesting comments coming in this morning. John Boydu will be remembered for some of the things he said. Touch not my anointed. John Boydu shares a picture of former President John Kufuor laying hands on the man himself. John Boydu once said, if it is jobs that Ghanaians want, the NPP government will create job overflow for the country to bring in expatriates to come and work in Ghana. It was a scam then, it's a scam today, and he was scammed yesterday. Come back and break the eight with lies again. Well, it's not such a good news for John Boydu in that.
I mean, it's politics. Win some, lose some.
That's right.
Yeah. And the guy served, good or bad, he served.
He's done
It's
it.
okay to give another.
He led the
person.
party to
Yeah.
power. So, Memphis Depay was also trending, and did you see the video of him in the Ghana school uniform? So wouldn't say no to him back at United. So, but people are talking about him. At Informer says Memphis Depay wouldn't say no to him back at United. Tottenham willing to pay £17 million for Depay. Here we go. At high_light says Spurs are building a title-winning squad, and Memphis Depay could be the next signing. So I think there's potential for him at Tottenham. Barcelona are reportedly close to agreeing a transfer fee with Tottenham, although the player is said to be reluctant to leave La Liga, according to Dario Sport. Okay, Memphis Depay will only agree to leave Barcelona for a top club. Barca have pledged to let him go for a low transfer fee, but Xavi is counting on him if he stays. So I guess that's the future of Memphis Depay in this conversation. Sorry, let me get this back for you. So there was also a video of him yesterday entering the changing room, and he was in a Ghanaian uniform.
Oh,
and he was
okay.
dancing. It was very beautiful. Antonio Mango on Twitter says, I wonder how Aubameyang is going to react to the arrival of Lewandowski, and we'll talk about that in sports. Xavi likes to play with a lone striker. At times, he will adapt, but with Dembele, Ferran Torres, Memphis Depay, Ansu Fati, and Rafinha, who will all occupy the wings, will we see an unhappy Aubameyang? Okay, asking a question. So Fabio Paratici is an admirer of Memphis Depay. However, right now, at this moment, there is nothing advanced. So I guess Memphis' future at Barcelona is what is trending. Maybe one more before we go. The Premier League is just around the corner. All right. So FP Lani says, Wayne Rooney, next Everton manager? Asking that question. Next season Premier League final table. As Ghana_Yesu is predicting the Premier League final table. It says Manchester United at number 1, Manchester City number 2, Tottenham Hotspur 3, Arsenal 4. Who is this person? Okay. Is he using a preseason to determine whatever?
It matters.
Okay.
You can't rule that out entirely.
Yes, please. Okay. Good start for Ghana forward Augustine Okra as he scored on his debut for Simba SC in their 1-1 stalemate against Ismaili in Egypt. Simba SC are in the city of Ismailia for pre-season ahead of 2022-2023 season as they hope to win Tanzania Premier League and CAF Champions League. Lisandro Martinez is going to have a better Premier League legacy than John Terry. How do you arrive at this? At Kojo_Banks, I'm asking. As Disturb___ says, if these Premier League clubs slack where we go day first position at any point, we don't go come down again. No. Which team is he talking about? United? You guys be tickling yourself and be laughing. At State Statsman Dave says, Lisandro Martinez is going to surprise a lot of people in the Premier League. His ability on the ball, his passing, his aggression and physicality is absolutely perfect for Eric Ten Hag's Manchester United. I can't wait for the season to start. Aren't they putting too much pressure on this guy? Okay. Yeah, so all the talks happening in the Premier League as well. We've done Memphis Depay, we've done Premier League, we've done the Our Talk. Should I do one more before I go? What else is trending? Can we just check it quickly, guys, for you? Shatawale is trending. Lewandowski is trending. Let's just check out Lewandowski because I understand he'll be moving to Barcelona. Robert Lewandowski opens up on secret Xavi meeting that convinced him to join Barcelona. There you have it. Now, 2 player. Not everyone in the Bundesliga is sad to see Lewandowski go. Wow. Is this true? I thought he was the Bundesliga sweetheart. Lewandowski tells Bild, Xavi told me that we'll work well together and can achieve a lot. He has a clear plan on how to bring Barcelona back to the top. I'm at Barca for trophies. I know I'll be 34 soon, but I feel very strong physically and mentally. Nice one. It's a quote from Lewandowski. Bayern offered a contract until 2024, while as Barca offered until 2026. I know I'll be 34 soon, but I feel very strong physically and mentally. So yeah, there's just a few one over there. And I see Henry and a B also over there. But Emefa,
Okay,
These are
guys.
the trends this morning.
Yeah, I'm sure you bring them sports later as
Absolutely.
well. Okay, so let's come to the local stories. So the New Patriotic Party has elected its national executives after nearly 24 hours of highly contested election involving over 6,000 delegates and 45 aspirants. Now, the executives include Mr. Stephen Intim, National Chairman, Vice Chairman Dankwa Smith-Butte, Rita Sobayre, second vice chairman, Alaji Basowood, third vice chairman. Now, Mr. Chassis Frimpon Kodia, general secretary, Henry Nana Boachi, national organizer, KJM4 also retained as national women organizer, national Nasara coordinator Aziz Haruna Fatal, national youth organizer Salam Mustafa, and Charles Jamina as treasurer. Now, these executives will steer the affairs of the party for the next 4 years, and the quest to break the 8. Now, President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo also congratulated the party's new national executives. Let's check out what Twitter users are saying about that. Okay.
Shall we?
So, Mr. Stephen Yayeso team really has been
well.
eyeing this chairmanship position for God
He's done
knows
really
so
well
many
for 20 years. Pursuing something for 20 years.
Yes.
That's real commitment, honestly. Well, President Akufo-Addo tweeted and said, I congratulate warmly the new national chairman of the New Patriotic Party, Mr. Stephen Yayeso Intim, and the other national officers who were elected at the party's National Delegates Conference held at the Accra Sports Stadium on Saturday, 16 July 2022. And the president shares pictures of them. Abdul Rauf Ibrahim on Twitter says, yes, we did it. Thank you, dear delegates. The youth wing will work again. Congratulations to Salam Mustafa __ on Twitter. Mr. Sharp says, Sami Ewuku knows NPP cannot break the 8, so he didn't bother himself to contest again. Man doesn't want any shame in 2024. May God give us a prophetic eye in politics like Sami Ewuku. #NPP elections.
Has this guy not seen Sami Ewuku's interviews about, breaking the 8? Yeah.
He's so confident about it.
Yeah.
At Ahianyo _Peter says, don't you guys think Chairman Wontumi could be the one who caused the defeat of John Boydu by rallying all delegates from the Ashanti region to vote for JFK? This year's NPP elections has really dealt a big blow to some persons. I sort of see some form of truth in there because I think the mind of delegates are changing now. Even the mind of regular voters are changing now.
Of course, I was
Can't
going
come
to
and
say
stand
that.
there and rally, vote somebody else.
Yeah.
We don't like arrogance.
But why did they want the change badly? Because on the day, most of the supporters they were chanting, especially during the secretarial position when it was announced. People like, wait, we want to change, we want to change. I'm only particularly excited about the fact that the new person is quite youthful.
Yeah.
Quite energetic. If he looks the part. If he acts the part, I think the party would
Will go well.
Yeah.
Well, like you said, he's new. Will he be able to break the 8 with these guys?
I've
You never know.
I've also said that it's a very difficult time to be a party leader.
Indeed.
This time, especially. Yeah.
We'll see. At Kweku BK says, don't joke with Ashanti region. My only advice for Dr. Baumia's team is they should tell Chairman Wontumi to keep quiet and support him in silence. Otherwise, they should forget Ashanti votes. He ex most of the grassroots here. At ZK tweet says, Chairman Wontumi and 15 regional chairmen in the NPP declared publicly for John Boydu. Prominent media men were in support of JB, but God was for Justin Kodia Frimpong, JFK. Benefsin even predicted against him, and Kennedy Japan knew he will win.
Chairman Wontumi himself even had a tough time during the regional elections. And so I think this year's election, whether party-wise or even at large, is something to pay attention to.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Absolutely. As Freddie Opong Ark says, congratulations to all aspirants who won the various positions in the recent delegates conference. Elections in Accra Sports Stadium serve well with unity to breaking the 8th in 2024 NPP Delegates Conference 2022. A few more before we go. JFK was Deputy Regional Youth Organizer when Wontumi was a constituency chairman. Wontumi became a regional chairman. JFK was a regional youth organizer. Now, JFK is a general secretary of the National Party, and Wontumi is still a regional chairman. Power will trick you.
Interesting.
Wow. Well said.
Interesting times.
Very well put.
Yeah. Did you hear about the Tescon guys that were
not allowed to vote
because of the injunction? Okay.
We'll see how that story develops.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, but moving on to something also disturbing. The Ghana Health Service has confirmed the presence of 2 cases of Marburg virus disease in Ghana. The cases were first identified in the Ashanti region on July 7, 2022. A statement signed by the Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Patrick Kumabwaji, said the cases were confirmed after testing at the Institut Pasteur in Dakar, Senegal. Now, let me quickly read the statements by the Ghana Health Service as signed by the Director General of the Ghana Health Service. Quickly. All right, we'll bring you that statement much later. But what's happening on Twitter?
Okay, so let's move away from all the bad news about health and all of that. But here's something interesting. So Twitter users having reacted to a video of a lady arguing with her boyfriend for refusing to cover the cost of dinner for herself and her 18 friends. From the video, the lady who was celebrating her birthday expected her boyfriend to cover the cost of dinner for herself and her 18 friends. Now, so for the video, she was celebrating her birthday and then was hoping that her boyfriend would pay. What's wrong with that?
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that. She's celebrating her birthday,
why did the boyfriend refuse? Because her friends were invited.
Did they discuss it? Are we going to play the video for them? Should we play the video?
We'll see if we can play the video, but let's check out. Let's check out the video. Yeah.
For one, I'm not paying for everybody's food. It's your birthday, cool, but I'm not doing that. It's 18.
Why do you gotta pay for all y'all food though?
You brought 18 friends. I'm finna leave you. You staying here with them or you coming with me? Are you?
Whoa, bro!
Like, you really just should have paid for all of our food.
You know that song playing in my head right now?
No, but it's her birthday. Are you saying that if there was something happening in your home and then your girlfriend or your wife was home and invited her friends cannot eat, and if they ate, they would have to pay for it? I don't know if this is her day, and her friends came with her, and so she can't have them pay. It's very rude to have them pay for the food.
You know people are watching you and listening to what you're saying.
No, but this is true. Like, courtesy. You invite somebody from their homes. Sorry?
I'm lost. Whose birthday is it?
It's the lady's birthday.
Okay, and then she invited her friends.
Her friends.
How many? 18?
Yes.
Okay, Russia-Ukraine war ongoing, COVID-19 ongoing.
Oh, Godwin, please. It's her birthday.
So she invited 18 people.
Yes, just 18.
To celebrate with her on her birthday.
Yes.
Okay, so what has that got to do with the guy?
Oh, help her pay for the bill. What is wrong with that?
I'm waiting for the comments. I'm waiting for the,
No.
I'm waiting for the comments for you. But whilst we're waiting for the comments that our viewers are going to send in, at Mira Moro says, I narrated the 18 saga to my mother, and she said that even if the man is an armed robber or prints money in his bedroom, he shouldn't pay. This mother is a proper African mother, and I'm in love with this mother. This is my mother. Nungwa Justin Bieber says, having the 18 friends around whilst it's a date makes it so disrespectful, and I think that's why the guy refused to pay.
No, that's a different ball. That's a different one.
Okay.
Godwin, address that issue.
Wait.
Address the issue.
Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. At least come alone and request 18 bags of food for your friends.
What is the... Okay, so this is different. If you're invited and you come along with 18 friends, that's different. But if we have an understanding that it's my birthday and I'm invited...
Who has the understanding? It couldn't be that the guy was aware of this.
No. The guy doesn't look like he's not aware. He's just saying that he won't pay.
But did she tell him that he was going to pay for?
It's her birthday. You must prepare for rainy days.
But
it's true.
Let me move on. Emefa is just being a devil's advocate right now. She's joking. At Legendary says, even if your boyfriend comes with 18 boys for a dinner date and he's still the one paying, would you feel comfortable with the 18 boys? Some girls really, they shock fans. But I mean, it's a birthday party. That also I don't agree. That's
okay, but how about you pay? You guys going to talk about it later. Don't embarrass her in front of her 18.
You should pay and then they're going to talk about it later.
Yeah.
So I should do it again.
No. I mean, you tell her that you don't like that.
When it comes to women, you establish it. You let it know that this is how it's supposed to be.
Says who? Where from this theory, Mr. Nambo?
I'll explain it when we are doing our Friday conversation. Anyway, everyone is entitled to their opinion. Says there's this video I saw of a guy that took his babe out on a dinner and she came along with her friends. In my opinion, I think he should have paid, not embarrassing her in front of her friends, and then when they get home, he corrects her, like you rightly said. And someone comments on it and says, embarrassing her? The 18 friends don't find it embarrassing for themselves that they can't afford to pay for food they ate themselves?
No, Godwin, no.
Okay.
That's different.
I guess this is arguable.
Yeah, that's different.
Atabuchi_ says, the painful thing is that the 18 girls know you are not the main Sorry.
I won't even laugh at this one.
The painful thing is that the 18 girls know you are not the main bae. They are just coming to drain you and mock you when they get home. To be honest, he has to be the side boo. Adresi_AP says, how did the 18 get to the restaurant? Did they go separately or in a bus together? Oh God, I'm confused. So this girl invited everyone. Okay, so yeah, that's what I read earlier. Anyways.
Guys, no. Listen, exciting Yoko. This one day, I want us to have a level ground. So I'm saying that, you know what, international front. But Godwin, we'll revisit this.
Yes, please.
At least 15 people have died after a shooting at a bar in South African township of Soweto yesterday. The incident unfolded when a group of armed men entered a bar in Numbonso near Johannesburg shortly after midnight and started shooting randomly at the patrons. Now, according to the police, 23 people were shot in the establishment. 12 died at the scene. 11 were rushed to a nearby hospital with injuries, and at least 2 more people were declared dead at the hospital. Police say they are yet to determine the motive behind the shootout. The suspects are still on the run. Wow. This is exactly something that would not make Madiba happy in his grave. Yeah.
And we're going to ask our guests.
What's the update with that? Yeah.
About this. This is terrible. This is the second time in 2 weeks. Mass shooting in South Africa.
Yes.
Okay. Let's do some tech news, please. Now, a new pushing hand gesture. Sorry, the story has gotten me a little emotional. A new pushing hand gesture that looks like a high five is on the short list of potential new emojis to be released later this year. Also included is a shaking face, a knob of ginger, and a hair pick for styling textured locks. Emojipedia, a popular emoji reference site, released sample images for more than a dozen new emojis that have been submitted for approval to the Unicode Consortium, the non-profit that oversees global emoji standards and new releases. The draft list also includes Marcus, a long-awaited pink heart. The possible additions come as pressure has mounted in recent years for emojis to be more inclusive. Final approval by Unicode is set to take place in September. The emojis would then be released as software updates to major platforms from late 2022 into 2023. Have you ever looked for an emoji and you didn't find it, like, I can't find this?
Yeah.
And the emojis, and you're like, when are they going to create one? Well,
okay.
Unicode Consortium is coming up in September with new emojis. Are you an emojis person? Every now and then.
Every now and then. Yeah.
Don't you hate people who just like to send plenty emojis?
Yeah, and always add LOL. Yeah. Okay, guys, that's it for Coffee Daily. But remember that in support of the End Human Trafficking campaign, we ask that you report any suspected case by calling the toll-free number 0800-800-800 or 0800-900-900. Now, stay tuned. Mr. Nambo is bringing it forward.
And welcome back to the AM Club. You're still watching us on Coffee Daily, and it's time for sports. And I'm going to do this quickly. Standing in for Derrick and Ghanaian sprinter Benjamin Azamati has promised to improve on his performance in the subsequent races after failing to make the semi-final for the 100-meter at the World Athletics Championship in Oregon. The Ghanaian sprinter finished fourth in his heat, falling behind Christian Coleman, Andre de Grasse, and Eric Cardoso in the early hours of Saturday.
I had good feelings coming into the competition to be able to qualify to the next stage and progress
and turns through 5 years as the wrong sister battles to win back the life and love story. Ice Adonis, the story of stepsisters whose rivalry turns to hatred when one sister is framed for murder. From the action-packed opening episode featuring a prison break followed by a dramatic fight at a wedding, the story twists and turns through 5 years as the wrong sister battles to win back the life and love stolen from her. Be ready for the suspense, the excitement, and the emotional roller coaster. An addictive tale of hatred, rivals, manipulation, and deceit, set in the glamorous world of the cosmetics industry. Ice Adonis premieres on MX24 followed by a dramatic fight at a wedding. The story twists and turns through 5 years as the wrong sister battles to win back the life and love stolen from her.
Paul Amoah says he has not been in great physical condition coming into the World Athletics Championships. Paul was also unable to progress to the semis after running 10.22 seconds. He finished 6th in his heat 7, running alongside Ferdinand Omanyala, who earned the 3rd spot.
I don't think about anything. I can't really complain about the lanes because, you know, it's 100 meters, everyone knows that.
New music first.
Slow down.
Catch exclusive interviews and jam to the hits that define your era. MX24. We love music. MX24 is home to your favorite artists. Hear the best new music first. Catch exclusive interviews and jam to the hits that define your era. MX24. We love music. MX24 is home to your favorite artists. Hear the best new music first. Catch exclusive interviews and jam to the hits that define your era. MX24. We love music.
For the suspense, the excitement, and the emotional roller coaster. An addictive tale of hatred, rivals, manipulation, and deceit, set in the glamorous world of the cosmetics industry. Excitement and the emotional roller coaster. An addictive tale of hatred, rivals, manipulation, and deceit, set in the glamorous world.
Championship title as he led an American clean sweep of the men's 100-meter medals on home soil. The 27-year-old who won Olympic silver last year won in 9.86 seconds as Marvin Bracey edged out Trayvon Bromell for silver on reaction time in Eugene.
They're away first time. The cosmetics industry. Ice Adonis premieres on MX24 this July. For sponsorship and inquiries, call 0243 024 552. Followed by a dramatic fight at a wedding, the story twists and turns through 5 years as the wrong sister battles to win back the life and love stolen from her. Be ready for the suspense, the excitement, and the emotional roller coaster. An addictive tale of hatred, rivals, manipulation, and deceit, set in the glamorous world of the cosmetics industry. Ice Adonis premieres on MX24 this July. For sponsorship and inquiries, call 0243 024 552. Ice Adonis.
The World 100-meter race since the United States in 1991, and they still won it again. Chelsea have signed Kalidou I'm sorry, the cameraman made me laugh. Chelsea has signed Kalidou Koulibaly on a 4-year deal from Serie A side Napoli. The Senegal international joined Napoli from Genk in 2014 and made 317 appearances for the Italian side. His arrival at Stamford Bridge follows the departures of defenders Antonio Rudiger to Real Madrid and Andreas Christensen to Barcelona, both on free transfers. Koulibaly made his senior debut for Senegal in September 2015 and has since earned 62 caps, captaining the team to victory at the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations. Now I'm looking at you.
Of course you should look at me. Of course, it's a Chelsea thingy this morning.
Whatever. Now, in other transfer news, Manchester United have agreed to sign Argentina central defender Lisandro Martinez from Ajax in a deal worth up to £57 million. Barcelona have agreed a deal with Bayern Munich for the signing of Robert Lewandowski for £42.5 million. Riyad Mahrez has signed a new 2-year contract extension with Premier League champions Manchester City, with his deal now running until 2025. But guys, catch up with all the fun, the breaking news, the sports stories, all the action on mx24online.com. It's time for showbiz?
Yes, absolute
Yep.
one. Do stay for showbiz and entertainment news.
Hi, I am the Afrogirl and welcome to MX Breaks, where I give you all the updates in the world of entertainment and lifestyle in Ghana and across the world. Hi, good morning.
Your Monday vibe no be here.
Good morning.
My mind, see, I have to channel some energy right now because I'm tired. I want to sleep.
Still giving me the Black American, African American, look.
I mean,
Nice.
I really do well with the scarves, don't I?
Emefa said what you're wearing is, the color is called curry.
Is it?
Did you know? You didn't know?
No.
The
No, I thought it was the other other yellow. What's it?
Mustard?
Mustard, yeah. No, I mean this one is a little pale as compared to
that one
this.
can
This
pass
one
for
is-
mustard,
yeah.
but that's curry.
That's curry. Hey, sorry. Aunties, that's
Yeah,
curry.
Many colors. Anyway, tell us what's happening.
Jumping into our very first story for today, Black Sheriff has finally joined Burna Boy on tour. If you don't remember, after the second Sermon collab, Burna promised to go on tour with Black Sheriff, but we hadn't seen anything from both camps until this weekend. In a video that has since gone viral, Burna Boy is finally seen performing the song with Black Sheriff in the UK. And I mean, Burna went live on Instagram when Black Sheriff was performing, and we have the video, so let's see it. I'm so excited for Black Sheriff, guys. I'm so excited for him because I mean it's been a long time coming. When Burna promised him, it was a while ago, it was a number of months ago, but I mean I'm glad he did good on his promise.
That's really cool. Cool to know.
It's really good to see how Black, what's his name? Burna Boy has taken
is,
him under his wings and pushing him and making noise about him. It's really lovely to see.
I'm so happy for them, Charlie. All right, moving on to some more good news. This time in the camp of Nigeria, Tiwa Savage is now a doctor of music, having been conferred with an honorary degree from the University of Kent in Canterbury, England. She was awarded by her alma mater in recognition of her inspirational and international career in music. Prior to her entering the music industry, she studied business administration at the same university, and congratulations to her. We have her message to the school's class of 2022, if we can see it.
Yo, what up, class 2022? This is Dr. Tiwa Savage, and I just want to say a huge congratulations to all of you. Well done. I'm super proud, and I want you to go out there, have fun, kill it, be the best you that you can be, because you truly deserve it. Well done.
You know what I like about her? The voice.
Yeah.
It's so soothing, and her accent is, it's accented. I don't know how to explain it. It's just, it's just there. It's just so soothing and beautiful. I'm happy for them, Charlie.
Dr. Tiwa Savage.
Yeah, Dr. Tiwa Savage.
Fun.
What's her real name? That they didn't say Doctor
Actually,
whatever.
Is it Dr. Tiwa Savage?
Dr. Tiwa Savage.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Maybe she's taking the name as her name.
I think it's even on her certificate.
Yeah.
Dr. Tiwa Savage.
It is. I just saw it. I just realized I don't know her actual name. Or maybe that's her actual name.
Maybe.
Savage.
Maybe Tiwa.
Tiwa, I don't know about Savage.
Doctor of music. Tiwa Savage.
I'm saying they're having fun. I hope she keeps all phones away from the fun. No videos.
Afrogirl, please. Where's the next story, eh? Don't want any trouble.
Still in the music scene. Over the weekend, Ruga and Buju were in a competition online for supremacy in the Afrobeats genre. It all started when Ruga made an egotistical statement about how he is a better singer than Buju, as a response to a comment made by a Twitter user who argued that Buju is a better singer than him. We have a number of tweets. We have a tweet from Ruga. This is what Ruga said. I love Buju, he's good. Okay, so someone says, LOL, Buju is better than you, and there's nothing you can do about it. You, this low budget Samuel L. Jackson. And then he comes to respond and says, I love Buju, he's good, but he's not better than me. Everything I've done since the beginning was only Ruga. All my hits are just Ruga. I'm always proud going on stage around the world with my own hits, and everyone is singing along. You see the difference?
His response.
Yeah.
I really very much. No.
Anyway, so now Buju, of course, had to respond to this, saying that his artistry exists on a different scale, as he doesn't have to share his royalties and has worked with legends while being an independent artist. I mean, this is what he said. LOL, I'd have it no other way, and I make and keep 100%. You make and keep 50% or less than that. I've never begged for a feature. Legends that even you respect rate me and my talent over yours. Don't hate the player, hate the game. And even though this numbers game is crazy, because that's how you think you are better, Jonza, I still get more numbers than you generally, and I don't pay anybody to sing and dance to my PR budget. Got you niggas talking rubbish. I just wish you will stop showing me fake love when you see me, because I actually be liking you snakes. Let's not even talk about money.
Wait, I'm confused. Which Buju is this?
So he was featured on Finesse.
Aha!
You know the way you like dance all business. She's thinking it's Buju Banton.
I thought it was Buju Banton.
No, this one he changed his name recently. He's BN.
Oh, come on. Yes. Then Ruga is.
No.
Really?
Hey, hold on.
He has been in the game. Apparently, he's been in the game for a while.
That's even more worse, because if Ruga just came
and he's making more hits and things.
That's what I'm.
Anyways,
I like Ruga, but I like his response. What I think Buju shouldn't have done was to respond
to this.
No, but he was
I don't know where the argument
way.
began. No, so listen, I don't know how the argument began, but you started by saying that somebody said that
it was a troll.
Buju was better than Ruga, and Ruga said, listen, Ruga was also sitting in somewhere, right? And then you come and tell me that someone is better than me. And he said,
I'm surprised you are saying this, because I expected that you would say Ruga shouldn't have responded at all because
No,
this
I mean,
whole
he's
thing.
this is a young man.
Trolls are.
It's painful sometimes. You're sitting somewhere, someone comes to tell you that somebody's better than you, and he didn't take a swipe. He didn't take a swipe at Buju. He just said that, listen, I've been doing my thing. I've been doing my hit songs by myself. You know, yada yada yada. Buju should have just let it go. But
Ruga too should have let it go, Charlie. I mean, Omale too tried to come inside the whole discussion and saying that.
We really like
yeah,
that.
Omale came to say, Ruga get mine, they talk about Buju like that for this app, SMH. Because these people do anything for clout out here. Same way Victor, LOL, my tweet the other time, y'all are really kids.
I see.
See,
Omale calling somebody kids.
Yeah. And I think that he was riding on all of this because he's released a new album.
Okay.
Yeah, so then, I mean, we all know how this music industry works. So.
All right.
Yeah, moving on. Moving on outside Africa, legendary actress, singer, and activist Jennifer Lewis finally received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame on Friday. Jennifer Lewis has appeared in 462 television shows, including the hit show Blackish. She has also appeared in 68 movies, 4 Broadway shows, and has performed in concerts around the world. Congratulations to her. I love it.
She deserves it.
I love it.
I've heard her sing.
Bro.
My goodness.
Bro. Her vocal prowess is not here.
She's not known in this part of the world like that.
Yeah.
She's big.
You know, she's those people that when they sing, she's not forcing it. She's just, she's just freestyling her thing.
You see how
the Afrogirl.
Oh, no, you should watch. And she does these videos on her Instagram. It's just very random. Sometimes she just goes to sit by the piano and then she forms something.
And she's so amazing.
Her pose by it is quite different from what the others will do. All the others will model on it and by it and all. But she give it. That's nice.
Raise her leg. Hey,
I love Jennifer.
She's not easy. I love her. Jennifer Lewis.
Oh gosh.
Yes.
Look at that. Yes. This woman.
This was her pose.
Wow.
I love her so much.
Speaking of Jennifer, you know Jennifer Lopez got married again?
Yes.
So, 20 years ago, Ben Affleck and Jennifer were married. They split. They've all gone to do their things. 20 years, they are back again and they're getting married.
Some story I've heard before.
After 20 years,
after 20 years.
10 years. It's not like they got married, but 10 years they were almost getting back together.
Anyways, that's about it for MX Breaks with me, The Afrogirl. Don't forget to follow me on all social media platforms at @the_Afrogirl. I have a YouTube channel, guys, The Afrogirl channel. Please go check me out. And don't forget, 3 p.m. today, MX Live with Jason Ellie.
Shameless plug. Shameless plug.
All day, every day.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah. Like it. I love it. I like to see it. Thank you very much, Afrogirl.
You're welcome.
For the update. To see you tomorrow. What are we doing next?
Obviously, yes, we're celebrating Nelson Mandela. Wait, Afrogirl.
Does she know Mandela?
Do you look at that look? She's cute. Why will you put me on the spot? Like, okay, it's fine. Guys, let me tell you something. Today's 18th, really. We're celebrating his birthday. So some years ago, the UN actually, decided that we take 18th of July to celebrate him, and so that we can maintain his legacy. We'll be sharing with you, with some people, how his life has affected them. But before that, let's go to 30th of July, okay, and tell you what's happening.
MMC.
Yes, music, magic, and comedy. So MMC Live is back Saturday, 30th day of July at the Grand Arena. 3 exciting acts will come to play: music, magic, and comedy, all on one stage. Pleasant tunes, laughter, and a touch of the unthinkable. Now, performing live is Kiddy, Adina, and then we also got some rib crackers like
Clemento
Suarez, Kenny Black as well. I like Kenny Black.
Yes,
yeah, Kenny Black.
Oh. And South African magician Regards is also coming. Tickets, 100 Ghana cedis for singles, and then 150 for doubles. Very, very affordable. Purchase them using mobile money with a short code *713*33*10# *713*33*10#. MMC Live is powered by Global Media Alliance and proudly sponsored by HD Plus, the Feely Experience. Scent of Africa by Gandu Cosmetics, South African Airways, and Eddie's Pizza.
Okay, yeah.
Lifestyle Daily.
Yes, do stay.
Borrowing borrowing and lending money. Now, the acts of borrowing and lending are a key part of our money habits, and it's important that you understand them. Unlike barter trade or barter deals, borrowing and lending don't have exchange of goods and services as part of the transaction. But let's leave the discussion of barter for another day. When you borrow money, you're expected to pay. And when you lend money, you expect the borrower to pay. There is nothing wrong with borrowing or lending money, financially speaking. If you happen to have spare cash available, you can put it to work by lending some to people in need. When you do this, you can always add a requirement that is part of the repayment plan. The borrower needs to add some interest. This is a good way to put your money to work while you sit back and reap the rewards of accrued interest. Now, this is mostly how a lot of financial institutions operate. They borrow your money and call it your savings account. Then they lend the money to people in other institutions. When the loan is paid back, they take the interest and pay some of it back to you. As a borrower, you must make sure that you pay any money you take back from the lender. Never let the agreed date of payment pass, or let the lender hound and chase you for money they gave to you when you were in need. When you pay your loans back on time, you can build a trustworthy relationship and perhaps get bigger loans and relaxed repayment terms. Here's one more tip before you go. Remember, don't say, borrow me money. Rather, the correct term is, lend me money.
Dreaming of a property for your home or workspace is one thing, but finding the property at the best locations with the most favorable condition and closing that deal is another. And that's why we are here. From Accra, Ghana, to Lagos, Nigeria, to Cape Town, South Africa, we are bringing you prime properties, affordable home solutions, and intriguing interviews with CEOs of various real estate companies and everything in between and on. My name is Kwesi Otten Desmond, and this is Property Take. Property Take, your gateway to Africa's real estate market. Showing this and every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. on MX24.
Hello and welcome to the Real Travel Show, where we take you on an exciting journey of fascinating places around the world. Invite your friends. Be my guest on this weekly journey around the world. Discover the food. Oh yes, my friend. The music, arts, culture, and the magical sights and sounds. The Real Travel Show with me, yours truly, Ras Mubarak. You, my friend, are very welcome.
Meet the best of in-depth analysis, top personality interviews, trending and breaking news all come your way. I'll be serving you with football conversations, life-hearted, lifestyle-related conversations, all on off the cuff. Join me, Derrick and this and every Monday to Friday between 4 and 5 p.m. only on MX24 TV.
Okay, sweet, but girl, your love is sweeter. My hair, you day for my hair. I know fit to reset.
The gossip, maybe I was born faithful until the first female suddenly broke a vow.
I feel like you can be my baby.
What
If I broke, now my business city. I'ma show you, you go buy to
Yeah, back home, and you know, I had a permanent fan. Yeah, free cocoa, being called, yeah, bad things go from a side. I come aside.
No hands, still I can't believe it. You know what I mean? I was young, what you expect from me? It is what it is.
Hi everyone, I'm Catherine from Ghana Made, and welcome to our series called Find Your Way Back, where I'll be interviewing amazing individuals that have moved back to Ghana from the diaspora.
You have to be willing to take a little bit of a risk,
Yeah.
and be willing to leave some of the comforts behind.
You know, shit was meant to be hot.
Yeah.
But then regardless,
It wasn't hot for you?
it wasn't hot for me.
I needed to adapt to the Ghana way of living, but not take that
from them.
Exactly.
It's such a beautiful country.
It is.
Our people are so beautiful. Yeah.
No topic is off limits. The pain of experiencing a miscarriage is something that can crumple your world. We're talking postpartum bodies and everything in between. And they share their story on their battle.
All right, guys, welcome back to the AM Club right here on MX24 TV, home of fun, fearless, and factual stuff. As we rightly said, we are celebrating the life of the legend himself, Nelson Mandela. And this morning, joining us for this conversation, I'm going to tell you in a few minutes, but let me quickly read this out for you. Every year on the 18th of July, the Nelson Mandela International Day is celebrated as his 18th birthday. The day is celebrated to shine a light on the legacy of the man who changed the 20th century and helped shape the 21st in South Africa. Today we'll be looking at the life story and finding out ways we too can be as revolutionary as he was. I hope so. But before we get into the conversation, we'd like to hear from you. Do send in your questions, your thoughts. What do you think about Mandela? What do you remember about him? Send it to us. WhatsApp number 055-033-1511, 055-033-1511, or you could also tweet at us at MX24GH, and we'll be glad to read it out. Now, joining us in studio, we are honored to have Her Excellency Grace Janet Mason, South Africa's High Commissioner to Ghana. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. We also have as joining us via Zoom Lethabo Sithole. She's Ambassador, Play Your Part in South Africa. Angel Poe, South African TV and theater actress, model, and philanthropist. Bernard, activist, internationalist, and Pan-Africanist. Also, Oliver Baka Vomawo, who is a very known figure in Ghana here, is a lawyer and an activist, as well as Dr. Samuel Edujemfi, Senior Lecturer, Department of History and Political Studies, KNUST. So I say what? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again. Where do we start from, Emefa? What do we begin with?
Let me go to your Excellency and welcome you specially to our studio. And you look gorgeous.
Thank
Wearing
you.
white.
With the Mandela t-shirt,
Absolutely.
it says 67 minutes of giving back.
All right. Okay. Before we get into his lifestyle and all the legacy and everything you'd love to share with us, I give you a moment to share with us something that you dearly want to talk about.
Yes, and good morning to all the viewers, and I see my colleagues that are online, friends from South Africa. I just wanted to take this moment, it's the month of July, and because Mandela is such a global leader, as you said, a great revolutionary, the month of July at the South African High Commission, I just would like to have a moment of silence for the untimely demise of South Africa's High Commission's administrator, Marion Coffey, who passed on in July. And heartfelt condolences as well to the government and the people of Angola on the passing of former president. The same condolences and heartfelt sympathies to the people and the governments of Japan for the passing of the former Prime Minister of Japan. And at home in South Africa, the untimely demise of Ambassador Chelsea Duarte, and just condolences to the family back at home.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Her Excellency. But let me jump straight to Oliver Barker-Vomawo, also joining us via Zoom. Now, Oliver, you are an activist, and of course, we can't talk about Mandela without talking about how active he was in fighting for certain things in South Africa. What do you make of a day as this, Mandela International Day? What does it mean to you?
You know, as my understanding of the person of Mandela, I think that he would prefer that a day like this is used to spotlight all other people as well as giving themselves to the struggle for social justice across the world. As a young person, as a young activist, I think that discovering the sense and the power of mobilizing during the apartheid years and the role that he and others played, and particularly the young folks as well when Mandela was in jail. I'm thinking of Steve Biko, for instance, who started the Black Consciousness Movement. I'm thinking of Chris Hani, who was eventually killed. And also some of the old folks as well who were mobilizing with Mandela, even if differently, right, like Walter Sisulu and others. I think the legacy of Mandela is also his ability to know how to spotlight other individuals and making it clear that the contributions that everybody has made in the struggle is worth remembering. So I think it's a message I take away. But also importantly, that we do not live for ourselves as people, and that the things that we desire, that we're not living in a bubble, the things that we desire as individuals is also connected to the aspirations of other people as well. And it's important that we are intentional in prioritizing and leveraging the suffering or the struggles of other people while we think and talk of ourselves. And that's something that it's become useful for my own thinking and my perspective of life. I remember when I was in illegal detention for 35 days at the hands of this government, discovering the writings and the work of several South African activists kept me going. And I've always looked for inspiration in the ways in which they sought liberation for their own people. They understood the understanding of the commitment that entails, but also not being shy or being discouraged by labels of controversy. Mandela himself at some point was labeled as a communist, and with all that entailed at the time, or whatever violent labels that meant, his sense of purpose kept him going. And I think it is important that young people who look to that legacy do not forget that the price that is to be paid for some of these things that we do or undertake are not things that we can take for granted, but it's also things that are supposed to strengthen our resolve even in the face of adversity, I would say.
Well, you mentioned, because we want to let you go, we'll just try and ask you a few questions before you go. You mentioned the likes of Steve Biko, Mandela himself. We can't also go without talking about men like Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and the rest. So I want to ask you, I've heard a couple of people say that the youth these days are lazy. We are just, we don't care so much. We're just there, So looking at the lives of these men and the legacy they've left, how do you juxtapose that to our current situation, where it's almost like the youth are sort of relenting in their oars? We're just, we're just going with the flow, looking at all the social problems we have. We're just leaving it for one or two people to make noise. What do you make of it?
I think that in so many ways, I don't think it's necessarily fair. I think that we make light of the fact that when we look at societies where political mobilization is very, very high, particularly in the Southern African countries which have some sense and years of struggle, that it takes years of political education. It takes years of getting people to be conscious, active citizens. And we should not expect these things to happen just because. We've created an infrastructure or an educational infrastructure that impoverishes thinking and people's ability to act as active citizens. And so there's a need for us to question societal values that is so fixated on accumulation of wealth, irrespective of how those wealth are acquired, that we are not teaching principles and values that animated the people of a certain generation. And mind you, I need to emphasize that even in those times of struggle, persons like Mandela and others it wasn't an easy struggle for them to do. There were people within them who were betraying the movement, the people within the Black South African society who were against what Mandela and co were doing. They were viewing them as troublemakers. The people within the police force who were instrumentalized and weaponized against Black populations and people who were actively in the struggle. So I think that we need to recognize the ways in which power also affects people's ability to or willingness to come out and speak and advocate. And if we are not intentional about recognizing the barriers that exist for young people to become more active in their citizenship, we would always be viewing them as, oh, this is just being lazy, rather than, trying to figure out how do we continue to encourage them more and more to join the struggle in a sense.
Yeah, I guess that's it. I mean, he's got courts this morning, and so Oliver would let you go and wish you all the best in courts this morning.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Right. Back into the studio, Your Excellency. Obvious question everybody might be asking, what is really the significance of the Mandela Day?
Well, the significance of Mandela Day, as we all know, it's an International Mandela Day that we commemorate the history of Nelson Mandela, his legacy, and also the theme for this year, for 2022, that we then also commemorate Nelson Mandela. It is how the world remembers him, his contribution, his fight for justice, the struggle against apartheid. And that is a legacy to promote peace, dignity, and unity for all, and just human dignity for all. And the theme for 2022 is do what you can with what you have, where you are. And it also resonates with the current geopolitics within the continent, conflict within the geopolitical landscape, where we just want to promote peace, looking at peace, human rights and dignity as well. And it also coincides with the theme of the African Union for 2022, strengthening resilience in nutrition and food security. So agriculture is important in terms of securing food security. And the theme that do what you can with what you have and where you are. And that also resonates with young people and getting young people and advocating for young people to look at ways of being innovative and to create job creation for themselves as well in areas of agriculture, agro-processing, being self-sufficient as well. So that is the theme of just doing what you can with what you have and where you are.
Interesting.
Okay.
Let's go over to Zoom again and talk to my good friend Angel Poe, who is an actress and also a TV presenter in South Africa. She lives there, so she can tell us on the ground. Angel, so we can't overlook the legacy of Nelson Mandela, obviously. We all know what he's done. But as a young South African, how do you feel looking at the current situation in South Africa and the legacy the man has left? We were doing a story this morning about some mass shooting where almost 15 people lost their lives. And this is usually among the black community. So as someone who lives in South Africa, as a young South African, do you think that the legacy of Mandela, I'm being careful with how I'm asking this question. Do you think that it's been upheld really in our present day?
Thank you so much for the question, and thank you for having me on your show. And I'd like to acknowledge Mama Grace Janet. Thank you so much. I honor you, Mama. So back to your question. You know, there is obviously a lot of things that has been happening in South Africa, and I do believe that what Mandela left behind is still so important in today. And I mean, there's so many things that keep derailing us from what he has left behind. But more and more youth are coming out to doing what they can, to focusing on opening their own businesses and doing things for themselves. You know, it's people like us that are in the media, that are in people's faces, that really try to always talk to the younger people, younger generation, or those that are not a step ahead, to say, look, here are the platforms that have been created by the government, or here are the things that you can do in order for you to achieve certain things. You know, I mean, as a business owner, for an example, there is different ways of funding, funding, and there's different ways of motivating the youth, and there's so many ways, so many things that are there for us to do. We just need to take a step ahead and do it. And what Mandela left is peace, you know, between us and all the other races. And I think with everything that he has left behind, it's so great that it's up to us to not blame what happened, to take a step now towards what we can do from now going to the future.
Mm.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay, yeah. Let me engage Your Excellency. Yeah.
And of course, I also agree that young people, and as she had rightfully said also, we must find ways of being creative, innovative. We are in the 4th industrial revolution. We must use the tools that we have, the opportunities, small businesses. And now what we have is platforms like the African Continental Free Trade Area is developing a protocol that speaks to young people and youth. There's so much programs that governments are doing for our young people. And if you look at sub-Saharan Africa, 70% of our capital and asset is young people. And this is the next generation. And we have the collective responsibility to inspire these young people.
Okay.
And platforms are there for young people to sort.
Your Excellency, allow me, if I may, to stay with you, especially because you brought in the young people. People have come, they may have read books, they may have heard about Mandela in classroom, in church, at home, and family, but they probably cannot relate and understand what he had to endure, you know, to become the Mandela that we know today, that we're celebrating. You want to take a minute to remind us what he endured?
Yes. I've brought with me a book. It's Nelson Mandela, Dare Not Linger. And this book, it's a read, and I encourage all young people to read continuously, not only to gain wisdom, but knowledge as well. And this book speaks about his presidential years, the struggles he had to endure. And this is in his own words, and with Mandla Langa is the author. And it speaks about the struggles, the challenges in his presidential years. He speaks about the challenge of freedom, negotiating democracy, because it was negotiated, a free and fair elections, getting into the union buildings as the first democratically elected president of the Republic of South Africa. He speaks about national unity, and national unity as well, the presidency and the constitution, and our constitution of 1996. His years in the presidency, parliament, traditional leadership and democracy, transformation of the state, reconciliation, social and economic transformation. And this is also to understand as governance and government, as leaders what you have to endure to take decisions and policies in terms of government, socio-economic policies that have to be taken, and of course, reconciliation, negotiations as well, and also putting Africa on the world stage. And it speaks about his years in the presidency, what he had to endure. And this is a good read that I encourage young people and future leaders to go through it. When President Ramaphosa was here on a state visit in December, this is the gift that was given to His Excellency President Nana Addo Adongo-Affo, as well as the Vice President and other leaders in Ghana as well. It's a good read. We can all emulate and read his struggles, especially with the policy reforms that had to be done, putting South Africa back onto the world stage, dealing with issues of socio-economic challenges, South Africa bringing reforms and policies, the reforms that were brought in terms of the socio-economic policies in South Africa. So it's a good read that speaks about his struggle, the history, and of course, just to quote as well, one of my favorite quotes that I will say, and this should resonate with everybody, and especially because the idea is to reach out to young people so that it resonates with them as future leaders, and so that it just resonates with them as well, that our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light and not our darkness that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I? So brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. Actually, why are you not to be? You are a child of God. Playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people would feel insecure around you. We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. And it is not just within us, it is within every one of us. And as we let our light shine, we consciously give other people permission to do the same. And as we are liberated from our own fear, our presence would automatically liberate others. So that resonates with me, just letting your light shine. And for me today, what we do every year in South Africa and all over the world, we take 67 minutes giving back to communities, just doing that day for Mandela, giving back and just remembering his legacy and giving back as well.
We'll definitely hear more about that and what activities are lined up in that aspect. But let's also go over to Zoom again and speak to Lethabo Sitole. I always want to get the name right. Lethabo Sitole. Good to have you, Lethabo.
Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. You're also not a new face to the AM Club, so it's good to see you.
I'm happy to be back on the Morning Club.
Lethabo, I will talk about what Ambassador said, or High Commissioner said, about what Mandela fought for, social and economic justice and all that. But first of all, what does a day like this mean to you as a person?
Thank you so much for having me. I'd like to start by acknowledging Her Excellency, Madam Grace. Thank you so much for joining us and being on the show today. And also, you know, the quote that she read reminds me of, there is a movie called Invictus that speaks of one of Mandela's first actions as president, and it was the Rugby World Cup. And it speaks of his leadership in that he was a servant leader, he was selfless, he was a sacrificial leader. And for me, Nelson Mandela Day and 67 minutes always reminds me of, you know, that there is always a bigger cause there is always something bigger that we are doing, that we are striving for, that we selflessly work towards in our daily lives. And that's essentially for me what Nelson Mandela Day always reminds me, is that we are here to serve, and ours is to build as young people, to build our countries, to build our continent, and the world at large.
I've got a question for you. So, assuming Madiba was watching from his grave today in South Africa, what's that one thing he will smile about? And what's that one thing that he'll say, Your Excellency, I think I need you to fix this one? What do you think he would be smiling and probably be sad about today in South Africa?
Yeah. I honestly think that the one thing he would be smiling about is young South Africans, their enthusiasm about Pan-Africanism. I think that that was one of the greatest things that he fought for, that we acknowledge the continent and its role in our struggle for liberation, and also its role in our continuous connectivity and regional integration economically and socially. I think that he would be so happy to see that young South Africans right now are excited to be part of that agenda. What I don't think he would be so happy about, and I don't want to be political, but it's probably the current state of his political party.
Okay. Okay.
Also, I also want to ask, any of you can answer. Sithole, you can answer this. Angel Poe can answer. Excellency.
Excellency, you got some reactions to that.
Can answer.
Yes. For me, where Mandela, if he was with us right now, and I speak this force, and because of the bilateral relations between South Africa and Ghana, the trajectory of the African Continental Free Trade Area, the implementation, that is such a comparative advantage for the continent. Mandela would be smiling at all African leaders for ensuring the success and the implementation of it, and just the success, and it's a catalyst for development. It gives us an opportunity to trade within each other. It is regional integration, continental integration. From where he sits, he would be smiling. But when you look as well, and I want us to understand, and young people to understand as well, and when we look at leaders and leadership as well, we should also take time to commend our leaders. We are in difficult times. We are in an era of post-COVID. Now, the pandemic has destabilized global chains. And what we should commend is the current leadership that we have. For me, President Cyril Ramaphosa has steered South Africa out of a global pandemic. And as a leader and as a captain of that ship, for me, I commend our leaders. The same as I speak in Ghana as well. It's post-COVID. What governments are currently doing is we're looking at post-economic recovery of our economies. So I would also, and I commend our leaders. It's difficult times. We are currently dealing with the triple challenges of unemployment, poverty, and inequality. Those are the triple challenges that all governments are dealing with. And for young people, for me, it's just for them to understand that the leadership that we have, that we commend the leaders that we have, that have taken us through COVID, that we are now grappling with climate change, we're now grappling with food security, and looking at post-pandemic recovery of our economies, and of course just ensuring, and hence I'm saying with the leadership of the President of the Republic of South Africa, including the leadership of the President of Ghana as well, for steering Ghanaians out of this pandemic.
Excellency, Go ahead.
So you want to go to Bernard?
Yeah.
Okay. Your Excellency, a moment. We're going on Zoom. We'll talk to. Hi, Bernard.
Hello.
Right. So, Bernard, tell me, what is that one thing about Nelson Mandela that is motivating you, or that has been motivating you to be an activist?
Well, let me start by sharing my greetings to the other panelists, and in particular the South African High Commissioner to Ghana, but to respectfully disagree with her on the issues of post-COVID issues and the fact that African leaders have steered us out of this pandemic. There is nothing spectacular that any African leader has done in relation to the COVID pandemic, except to follow the universal protocols. And in some instances, you will realize that African leaders took advantage of the COVID pandemic to self-enrich. And in the instance of Ghana, where we have seen that the inflows of COVID-19 resources are far in excess of the expenditure, and yet Ambassador will agree that in Ghana, our president took delight in imposing COVID-19 taxes on an already impoverished society, an already suffocating business society, including your business that suffered as a result of COVID activities. So if you are looking at the spectacular things that any African leader did in order to attenuate the consequences of COVID, you realize that none exists apart from following the usual global prescriptions. That said, I will leave that one for another day and another discussion. But let me move straight to the significance of a day like this. I think that every one person must live not only for himself, but for the generation unborn. President Mandela certainly lived above his personal ego and above his personal dream. He crafted for himself the I can do spirit and the fact that he is never a quitter, and that quitters don't win and winners don't quit. The fact that he was in jail for nearly 28 years, but kept his focus and did not waver on the principles for which he was imprisoned is something that all of us as young people within the continent must work at. There are many at times, most of us capitulate just at the least threats in our lives. And I think that Mandela never allowed any threat whatsoever, including the fact that he could have died in the course of struggling for the liberation of the people of Africa. He kept focused, and eventually after 28 years, he overcame the struggles of the people of South Africa. But more importantly, and that has been my greatest worry, that Mandela did not treat the one person in my life that stood for Mandela, that struggled probably and magnified the struggle of apartheid for the people of Africa generally to come and join the struggle. And that is Winnie Mandela. The manner in which Winnie Mandela was treated by those who actually hated the progress of Africa and South Africa is something that I'm worried, and that Mandela fell for that trap. Sometimes when I sit down, I shudder that how did a great man allow the people who really did not like him to even secure freedom to influence him so much that he will jettison the one partner that pushed the struggle forward in the manner that she did. And for me, that probably is the greatest blot in Mandela's struggle. Beyond that, I think that, look, this is a man who, in spite of pain, could still come out and force a smile just to give hope and to give inspiration to the many people across the continent. And as a young person, whilst I was in secondary school, I remembered that, look, there were songs like Anti-Apartheid Africa, Munsori You, Anti-Apartheid Africa, Munsori You, Asemweya Aba, Nyina Semo, Africa Munyina, Munsori You. I think that these, but I'm sure across the rest of the continent, to see the struggle of the people of South Africa as a continental struggle. And then, all of a sudden, 1994, boom, Mandela became the president of South Africa. It brought a lot of relief to many of us. And I think that it keeps inspiring us to know that in our struggles, there is freedom that will come our way one day.
Thank you. Thank you. Very well said, Bernard. Yeah, very well said.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Back into the studio. I mean, Your Excellency, you have said many great things. You mentioned the free African trade, the
Yes.
continental trade, and then you have also said about the book where you want the youth to actually pay attention and get to know some of the core things that Mandela did. He didn't just wake up overnight to become Madiba that we know. I'm quite curious about you when you were growing up, hearing about Mandela, you yourself, what role did it play to you? I mean, in shaping you to be such a beautiful and a very, intelligent High Commissioner to Ghana today?
Yes, absolutely. Mandela has touched everybody's lives. I particularly was inspired. In my 20 years in diplomacy, when I started in protocol, I worked in the Department of International Relations and Cooperation, and as a director, I interacted with protocol, received delegations international guests that went to go and see Mandela. So I was blessed and fortunate to have had the opportunity to work in protocol and as a deputy chief of protocol as well. So Mandela inspires all of us, and I always also invoke his immortal words as I speak as well, that it all seems impossible until it is done. So that is the message I want to leave with young people. Don't despair. It always seems impossible until it is done.
Right.
And the activities that I have planned for today in the High Commission is we will go to one of the schools, one of the special schools next to the High Commission in Lebone, and just go and give gifts and spend time with young children, because Mandela loved children and education, and he had a Mandela education fund as well, just to get education for young people and spend the latter part of his years with young people. So I will also be spending some continent, and God bless Ghana and God bless South Africa, and that's what I want to take with. And those are the activities that I will be embarking on today.
Okay, is that happening this morning or later in the day?
Later in the day.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Beautiful. And I guess it's based on the struggles of these guys, Mandela, the Nkrumahs, and all these Pan-Africanists.
Yes.
That's why we're sitting here today, including hosting you. I think it's phenomenal. And so I'm going to ask my sisters on Zoom as well, Lethabo and Angel, to ask, okay, since Mandela was a Pan-Africanist and we are celebrating his spirit, how can we, as young people, work together as Africans? Because we really are limited by our borders. You know, South Africa is South Africa. I'm a South African actor. I'm a Ghanaian actor, you know, so... Angel is laughing. How do we work together? Thank God Lethabo is on. You are with the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. How do we work together as Africans, young Africans, together in celebrating Mandela?
Godwin, I think you know that I identify as an honorary Ghanaian.
Yes, you do.
And Ghana is my second home. Africa is home for me. I always say to people, I work on the continent and for the continent. I think that the only way that Africa will reach its development goals and its all of anything that we want to achieve, from the successful and full implementation of the AFCFTA to the attainment of all the Agenda 2063 goals, is on us, the youth. We are Africa's largest and fastest growing demographic, and it's about unity, it's about identity, it's about knowing each other and appreciating each other and developing a love and tolerance for each other. It's me in South Africa looking up to the continent and saying thank you, I see you, I love you, and I want to learn from you every day. That is the one thing that I want all young Africans to learn. When you see people and you see who they are, you learn their identity, their culture, their difficulties, their pain, their love. You tolerate them a lot more, and it's easier for you to partner with them in anything and everything that you do. In addition to the AFCFTA, what I would like to see happening in the near future is the signature and implementation of the protocol on free movement of persons, because the only way I'm going to know you and love you and appreciate you and tolerate you is if I can interact with you. And the ease of travel is as important as the ease of trade and the ease of economic activity. And I hope that our leaders at the AU will take that on and make sure that in the near future that protocol is signed and it's implemented, and it's easier for young people like myself to move across the continent and learn and love and tolerate and appreciate.
Angel?
Yeah, well, I couldn't agree more with her. I always also say that Ghana is my second home, and I always avail myself to whatever that, whether it's giving back, whether it's something that has to do with making a difference in someone's life. I'm always availing myself, and all the other countries. I mean, right now I'm sitting with ideas from a lot of young people from Ghana that are saying, Angel, let's just do something together, and like she was saying, like Lita was saying right now, I think the ease of traveling is what's, if that can be, sorted out for us, that'll be great. But I just love what is happening right now. I am so inspired by Mama Janet. I love you so much. And I'm so glad that you're here with us this morning. I'm always availing myself to anything that has to do with making a difference in someone's life. And today what I'm doing, I'm out in the Eastern Cape, the rural areas. We are painting Jojo tanks. They don't have water tanks. They don't have water, so there's this water tanks that are bought. So we're making them colorful, and there's a whole celebration. And that's the first thing that we're doing. Then we're moving to another province. There's other things that we're doing. So this is a very important day for us in South Africa. And not only today, but for myself, this is something that I do for other people as well. As I have a soccer team that also I have included education in that. I have ways of I'm always finding ways to help other people as well. So
that's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you.
That's beautiful. How do you say thank you in your language?
Galebo.
Is it Kosa?
Pili.
And in mine.
Okay.
And in mine.
Yes, yours.
In mine we say Nzakenza.
Nzakenza. I got it.
Nzakenza.
That's
and
beautiful.
Nkomo as well. Yes, you're right.
Wonderful. Wow. How many languages do you speak?
11 South African languages.
What?
Yes.
11?
Yes.
You speak 11? Wow.
Wow.
I speak only 3 Ghanaian languages.
And Angel forgot to say that she came to my office last year and we discussed how we're going to do cultural. When she came to see me in my office last year, Angel, I think at the end of the year, we discussed cultural diplomacy, how we're going to get young people to collaborate. I will soon be having a Ghana week in South Africa. Where we will showcase everything that's Ghanaian, from Ghanaian products, Ghanaian textile, Ghanaian food, artists, to get collaboration between South African artists and Ghanaian artists in music, in film, in all activities. So there's a lot of projects and a lot of programs that I am planning to engage young people to just bridge the divide and bring, and because it's a bilateral South African-Ghana relations and the agreements that we have in place in terms of promoting cultural diplomacy, that's at the apex of the programs that I'm undertaking. And I had a long discussion with Angel about it, but we'll continue the discussion with Litabo them as well, just to see how we can get Ghanaians and Ghanaian products. We had a wine tasting over the weekend where we were pairing South African wines with chocolates from Ghana. So we're going to do that in South Africa again. Take chocolatiers from Ghana into South Africa. So those are so many opportunities and exchanges that I'm working with.
Sounds good. Thank you.
To help as well. But we can't go without also taking Bernard's final words. Bernard, what do you have to say on this day? What are you doing today personally in celebrating Mandela's Day? Hello, Bernard.
Okay.
Bernard, and could you unmute yourself? Yes.
I said I wish I could join with Her Excellency in her activities around the Labone Enclave. Unfortunately, I'm running into another studio for another program. But let me comment the various activities and programs that the High Commissioner is putting across. I am enthused about the Ghana Day in South Africa, and I think that such promotion will go a long way to ensure that the people of South Africa and Ghana rediscover the bond that existed. Make an appeal. In my opinion, it doesn't make any continental sense for Ghanaians or South Africans to be applying for visas to travel within the continent of Africa. We are one people. We must do everything to break these colonial boundaries.
Yes.
And I think that just as Ambassador may not want to stay in Ghana in perpetuity, you will not also want to stay in South Africa in perpetuity.
Well,
let us work so that we can have travel free within the continent of Africa.
There you go. Ambassador
together for appetite.
Thank you so much. Ambassador,
We are working
she's working on that.
On the visa waivers between our two nations.
Beautiful. That's exciting to hear.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Bernard, thank you so much for your contribution as well. We truly appreciate you. Always there when we call on you. Have a beautiful day, sir.
Your day be better, sir.
Thank you. Ooh, I want to say thank you in the language again, but I forgot it.
Siabonga.
Siabonga.
Oh.
Siabonga, Ambassador. Thank you, High Commissioner, I should say. Thank you so much. We appreciate you. Oh, I'm looking forward to that wine and chocolates. I'm so excited about it.
Yes.
Right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you to Lathabo Sitole. Thank you to Angel Poe, Bernard Mona, and High Commissioner to Ghana. We're still watching the AM Club right here on MX24 TV. Up next, we have Motivation Monday. And like we said, we had a very interesting and insightful conversation with Dr. Larry Olushola. He shared his life journey with us. Stick and stay.
And bend over.
MMC Live is back. Saturday, the 30th of July at the Grand Arena. 3 exciting arts will come to play. Music, magic, and comedy, all on one stage. Performing live is the Golden Boy Kitty.
Shut up and bend over.
Evergreen Adina. Rip Crackers, Clemento Suarez, and Kenny Black.
I'm so happy to be here. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor. If your neighbor is light in complexion, look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, you are the light of the world.
And South African magician, Regat. Tickets up for 100 Ghana cedis for single and 150 Ghana cedis for double. Available at Airport Shell, Bachana Total, and Silverbed Cinemas. Buy tickets via mobile money with the short code *713*33*10#. MMC Live is powered by Global Media Alliance and sponsored by HD Plus, South African Airwaves, Scent of Africa by Gandor Cosmetics, Rwand Air, and Eddie's Pizza. Supported by Wupro, Silverbed Cinemas, Fapapa Car Rentals, and Perception Management International. Media partners.
Welcome back to the AM Club, live on MX24 TV, home of fun, fearless, and factual content. My name is Godwin. Now, it's now time for Motivation Monday, and I'm personally excited about our guest this morning. We already told you who it is, but let me quickly tell you who it is more. Now, he's known as the catalyst and also the face of life coaching in Africa. Dr. Larry Olushola, PhD, founder and chief catalyst of the Olushola Lanre Coaching Academy, a mind, emotions, and behavioral change coaching academy working with individuals and organizations to transform lives by transforming minds. I love this. Dr. Lanre Olushola is recognized for his unparalleled expertise in coaching, his extensive array of publishing and transformational keynote speaking with individuals and world-class organizations across the globe. He is renowned for pioneering the life coaching industry in Nigeria and creating the first wholly integrative coaching academy in West Africa. With over 2 decades of coaching experience, the Catalyst is a certified General Electric Executive Coaching Master Trainer and a GE Regional Cotonville Executive Coaching Faculty member. Sir, good morning and welcome to the AM Club.
Good morning, Godwin. Thank you very much for having me.
Good to have you.
It's a pleasure and an honor to be sitting here having a conversation with you.
The pleasure is all mine, sir, I must say. Welcome to Ghana again.
Thank you.
You're telling me this is like your second home, isn't it, in Africa?
I love Ghana, man. This is my second home.
You've been here since Wednesday?
Oh, yeah, I've been here since Wednesday.
A couple of days.
Yeah.
Quickly, let me ask you. So let's and you know you can't go. We can't start off without settling this once and for all. Since this is your second home, you've tasted our food. Dr. Larry, you are the life coaching guy. Please tell us, jollof wise, who is it? I'm sure you've been asked several times. Who owns it? Tell me something.
All right, you know, I'm going to approach it from a different perspective. It's a function of your palate. You know, we are all creatures of nurture. You are nurtured into your nature. Howbeit taste buds, you know, our food, behaviors and everything. And so if you are in Ghana, you've been nurtured, you know, you've been trained, you've been conditioned, you know, with the way Ghanaians cook the jollof rice. And if that's what you know,
yeah,
that's your best.
Yes, indeed.
You know, and so you would say that Ghanaian jollof rice is better. If you've been nurtured with Nigerian, and that's all you know, you would say Nigerian is better. You know, but it's not about which one is better. It's about the fact that we're talking jollof rice. And there are different ways to skin a cat. There are different ways to make anything.
Doc.
And so the spices and all of that, you know, and the approach to it is different. So I love both.
I haven't heard anybody put it quite like this. This is the most modest way to go about it. It's fine. We'll give it to Nigeria in this case. So Doc, let's go back to your life. I'm sure a number of times you've been asked, but for us who may have not heard of you, please tell us, which part of Nigeria do you come from?
I'm Yoruba.
Oh, Yoruba?
Yeah, I was born in Lagos, yeah.
We say Yorubas are like Gans in Ghana.
Yeah.
Most of the Gans migrated from the Yoruba land, so...
I mean, we're all the same, really. Yeah. We're all from the same source, from the same father, from the same mother. Every black person in the world comes from one source. And it's about time that we started to see each other as one. Because, you know, we have always, you know, been at the helms of affairs and controlled world affairs. We've always been at that forefront of innovation, creativity, you know, science, spirituality, architecture, you know, astrology, astronomy. And when we talk Egypt, we're talking black man, right? If you've ever been to Egypt, we're talking about your heritage, your history, and every black man should go back to Egypt and go and know who you were. You know, we were the first set of people that even enslaved a set of people. So God's chosen people, the Israelites, they were our slaves for 430 years.
Interesting. Dr. Larry, I know you're going to be deep with these things, but tell me what it was like growing up. Did you grow up in Nigeria?
Oh, yeah. I've lived all my life in Nigeria, even though I've had stints of studies across the world. Growing up in Nigeria was interesting. You know, we could go out on the streets and play. We could go out on the streets and roll tire. We could go out on the streets and play soccer. During holidays as a teenager, right, you'd eat in the morning, have your bath and all of that, and then you're out on the streets playing all day. No phones, no one checking in on you. You know, you'd walk, run, play to different locations, you know. And, you know, everyone just had a communal system. Your neighbor's parents would look out for you. If you messed up, they would, you know,
discipline you.
They would discipline you. And if that's not enough, they will report you to your parents, and then you have double discipline. And so, you know, the community parented each and every one of us. We allowed ourselves to learn some street sense. We built some emotional resilience, some mental toughness. You know, we were wise, street smart. We made mistakes. We injured ourselves. We healed. We went back. We fought. You know, and we learned discipline through, you know, failure. You know, we learned success through failure. You know, we learned, you know, the ability to progress and grow, you know, through learning. You know, and we understood that, you know, we had teachers everywhere. As peers, as, you know, neighbors, as, you know, neighbors, friends, parents, as in schools. You know, we were beaten by our teachers, we were disciplined by our teachers, and we learned through discipline. And look at how we turned out. Today, it's not so.
I'll let you help us with how that contrasts to today's generation and what we can do about it. But every kid growing up, like you said, on the streets of Nigeria, on the streets of Accra, we have dreams. And when you started out as a life coach, there was almost nobody doing that in Nigeria. So I want to ask if you've always knew you were going to do this, or it just chanced on it. How did it come to you?
Wow, you know, no. I studied structural engineering in university. So I was about my business, running, you know, several businesses. I was a serial entrepreneur. I was running about 14 businesses, from construction to interiors to manufacturing to telecoms to, you know, car leasing to sound systems to home automated systems. So, you know, I was enjoying myself, building, you know, business empires. And I'd always been spiritual. I'm very spiritual. I understand that I am spirit. I have a mind, but I live in this earth suit. So I'm not a human being. I'm a spirit being having a human experience. And so I've always had an intimate and personal relationship with my Father in heaven. So God is my Father, not my master. And so I have a son-father relationship with him. And I've always developed my spirituality. And so I've always communed with my Father on a daily basis. So one day, 20 years ago, I was, as it was usually my custom, you know, every morning, for as long as I've known myself, I've always had the rituals of 90 minutes of praying, visualizing, meditating, affirming every morning, and just, you know, putting myself into an echo space of tranquility and peace, shutting out the world. Until that morning, I was praying, and I literally saw, felt, experienced God walk into my room and said to me, "My son, I need you to go out into the world and transform lives by transforming minds." And he walked me through the next phase of my existence. He revealed unto me what my purpose was and what my mission on earth was. And most profound was he told me to shut down everything I was doing, to literally start all over again, to the extent that he changed my name. So my name wasn't always Olushola. My name was Kupolui. And so he says to me, today, you know, starts the beginning of the new beginning. And I've not looked back for 20 years.
Dr. Olushola, influences growing up. Tell me about your family, your dad, your mom.
So, you know, I was born into a middle-class family. I lost my father in the first plane crash in Nigeria. There were 6 of us. The last of 6. My mother used to just be a tailor and a hairdresser. And when my father died, she never remarried, you know, and we lived in a 2-bedroom flat. She had a room, the rest of us had a room. And when we went to school, she would roll out her hairdressers, her machines into the sitting room, and that would be her office, her, you know, hairdressing salon, her fashion design store. And so by the time it got to me, 6, you know, a humble woman, hairdresser, how much could we have? Mm-hmm. You know, so I grew up with humble beginnings, but I knew from get-go that I needed to, you know, create my own destiny. I knew that I needed to take my own destiny in my own hands. I knew, you know, that I wanted to be someone. I knew that I could be someone. I knew that I would be someone.
It's amazing. Sorry to catch you, but how is it that that did not rather bring you down? You know, for some people, situations like this, then you hear all the excuses. You know, I come from this family. I'm the 6th child of, you know. How is it that you decided that, no, I have to be a better person?
I guess this is why we call it destiny. You know, I'm destined to be. And because I aligned with that destiny, that fate, I committed, you know, to becoming what it was that I was written and destined and predestined to be. You know, so there's 2 dimensions of existence. There is the predetermined end, and no one can change that because it's already written. But there is the choices that you make that determine your experiences as the journey of your destiny unfolds. And so, you know, like I said to you, I have an intimate and personal relationship with the one that gifts the world with destiny. I often say that birth announces destiny and purpose, and death announces the end of destiny and purpose. And so when you are born, destiny is born, purpose is born. Now you determine your experience between the day you are born and the day you die. However, what is written about you is already written. What you would achieve and the impact that you will make is already written. Now, you know, I could decide to walk here from my hotel. I could decide to get on a scooter. I could decide, you know, to arrive here in a luxurious car. That's my decision. That experience between the hotel and here is mine to shape.
There are distractions.
Yeah, that I get here, that I will be here on this show is already predetermined. We already had the appointment. And so everyone has an appointment. The reason why you were created is because of your purpose. The reason why you are alive is because of your purpose. The reason why you are breathing, you wake up each day, is because your purpose and your destiny is still relevant. Now the question is this: are you making the best of it? Are you becoming that which you were destined to be? Are you in alignment with that? Because that's what determines whether you live a fulfilled life or a frustrated life.
I like that you mentioned this. I was going to ask you, what is a fulfilled life? What is success?
Well, you know, the way that I define success is this, right? So let's say that, you know, we agreed both that today I'll be on this show and you would interview me about my story. And at 10 a.m. and I show up and the interview happens and we're able to transmit to your viewers and everyone tunes in and they're blessed or, you know, they learn something, then we were successful, right? That's because there was a predetermined objective, goal, vision. And each of us sacrificed to make it happen. Now, success is knowing what you're supposed to do, knowing who you're supposed to be, knowing where you're supposed to be, and what you're supposed to do at an appointed time, and doing it. That's the definition of success. So how do you become successful in your life? It is to know what your destiny and your purpose is. Because each one of us was sent as a messenger with a message onto this earth. So the real definition of success is to know what that is, right? And to do that which you are here to do. Now, interestingly, you know, many are man's plans, but only God's destiny and purpose is fulfilled. And so if you decide that you want to go east, destiny would always pull you west if your destiny is west. So a lot of frustration, irritation, and lack of fulfillment will happen because you would always be pulled west. I mean, destiny and purpose is so powerful that, you know what, you cannot not fulfill it. I mean, did Judas know what his purpose and his destiny was? He fulfilled it because it was predetermined. Did Joseph know? He didn't, but he fulfilled it. And so when we read of these stories, these case studies, right, it's not everyone that knows or everyone that is told like I was told, but everybody surely fulfills their purpose. You know, I've heard the quotes that the grave is the richest place. I don't believe it, right? That means that God failed. But God, the grand master of creation, that created every human being and dispatched everyone with destiny and purpose and potential, failed. If we're saying that man does not fulfill his purpose, it means I cannot comprehend God failing.
And that wouldn't be on God. It would be on the individual if they didn't fulfill their purpose.
You will fulfill it. It's just that you will not know you have fulfilled it. I mean, Joseph did not know that he was in purpose, but he was born into purpose, right?
Do you believe that somebody's life can be cut short and they didn't fulfill their destiny?
No, it's not possible. That means that, you know, the exclusive right of life and death is God's. The devil does not have the power except he's permitted. If you read the story of Job, right? Job was a man that loved God and was living his life. And then the sons of God gathered, and the devil gathered with them. And God asked Satan, where are you coming from? And he says, man, I've been to and fro the earth. And God asked, have you seen my son Job? And the devil said, who, Job? Let me go check him out. And then he came back and said, man, that guy loves you, man. Let me, you know, oppress him. And that guy will deny you. The devil needs permission before he can touch God's anointed.
I love the spiritual aspect of our conversation, which is very interesting. Now let's look at your career. You know, 20 years in this practice, teaching people, mentoring people, and guiding people. What would you say has been your biggest surprise in? Clearly, if you're a life coach then, and you're a mindset coach, then we have a mindset problem. Let's limit it to Africa, UK, where you've been, you know, been dominant. What has surprised you most in your practice, in your mentoring of people, in teaching people? What surprised you most about our mentality?
In all honesty, nothing, because I knew what to expect. But I'll tell you what our Achilles heels are. Tradition, culture, and religion. And then a lack of identity that stems from a lack of knowledge of who we are and our history. It's our biggest problem. If you do not know who you are, then you cannot become who you're supposed to become in the fullness of it. You know, I went back to talk about Egypt, right? Egypt was just a classification of a group of people called the Kush tribe, the black man. The continent had not split, so they couldn't call it Africa. So they called it Egypt. We're documented in history, you know, but we do not understand our history of who we are. You know, When the white man came to get us as slaves, they came to get our technology. We were the ones that were melting steel. We were the ones that were carving on brass. We were the ones that were doing art. We built Europe now. We built America.
Sure.
Not just with our bronze, but because of what we knew. We had spiritual intelligence. We had cultural intelligence. We had technology. I mean, if you've gone to Egypt, you would understand what I'm talking about. Have you seen the pyramids? Have you seen the Sphinx? How did we do it? We understood astronomy, astrology. We understood chemistry. If you see the embalmed, mummies, they're still kept the same way. We understood science. We understood chemistry. We understood physics. You know, the original Greek philosophers, do you know where they went to study? Egypt. You know that they are black Greek philosophers. Our problem is a lack of understanding of who we were, our history. And then we've allowed tradition over time, culture, and religion, especially religion, to destroy us. And I'm hammering on religion, not spirituality. Religion is a conditioning where we are irresponsible. Faith that expects God to do everything that you are supposed to do is irresponsible faith, because God is waiting for you to take responsibility. That's why he handed over his entire creation to you. He says, now you dominate everything. How do you have dominion over anything you are ignorant about? And so in religion, they don't want to study the stars, the moon. There is some dimensions about God we can never understand
until we understand the stars.
Until we understand astrology and astronomy.
Very, very, very interesting. What do you find most challenging about this? Well, this practice, this career, apart from our mindset and the challenge we have.
I mean, people just don't want to commit. People are based on religion. They want to touch it and have it. So you drive a G-Wagon. You've invested 30 years of your life to build a business. And one of the benefits of delayed gratification over 30 years is the fact that your business is a $2 billion business. And so the business buys you a G-Wagon as an official car. So one stupid guy
wants to tap.
He wants to come and lay hands on it.
And take the grace.
And take the G-Wagon. How stupid is that? That is what religion has taught us. It is a lot of Christians and, religions are teaching about breakthrough. God does not give breakthroughs. They're teaching about prosperity. Prosperity and wealth is built on principles. You can't pray yourself into wealth. You can't fast yourself into wealth. You can't sow yourself into wealth. Never. There's no scripture that justifies it, right? There's no scripture that teaches it. It's man's creation, and that's what religion is.
Interesting. Dr. Lushola, in some few months, Nigeria will be going to the polls. Elections are coming up. I digress a bit. I want to know from you, what do you think Nigerian youth today in our times, with our culture, with our traditions that has sort of become a setback for us, what should Nigerian and African youth know really as these elections are coming close? What do we have to know?
It's really important that, we understand exactly what democracy means. Ignorance is one of man's greatest enemy and destroyer, not Lucifer. Ignorance. One of the things that we're ignorant of and about is we're ignorant about how much power we have. Democracy is power of the people, by the people, for the people, right? And 70% of Africa is strongly youth populated. We have too much power to change status quo, but we're not using our power. We're allowing a few people to control us like puppets. You know, if we stand together as one, with one vision and one voice, right, we will change history.
How? Dr. Olushola, how do we change? How do we bring about this change?
Very simple.
As 70% youth.
It's very simple. Let's look at, creating a cause. One vision. One vision. So let's say Nigeria, right? And that vision is we change the dynamics of power. Let's just say APC and PDP will not win. We change the dynamics of power, and we will all go out to vote to change it, and we will all stand there till our votes are counted and it's declared. Let's put systems in place to make it happen. It is voting that determines it. So when they come and give you money, reject it as a youth. Let the remaining 30% collect it. The 70%, no, we're going to vote our conscience. We're going to vote based on what we've agreed. We will change it. But guess what? We would allow ourselves to be infiltrated. We have no vision. And without a vision, the people perish.
Are you tipping an independence candidate too?
I'm not
except for PDP, I'm asking.
I'm not
aside from
tipping
PDP
anyone.
and APC, do you think somebody else should take power in Nigeria?
You know, I don't like to do shoulds and if of could or, The system that operates now is the system. Until, you have to wield and be determined to take power. And you have to be very real and practical. In being real and practical, you have to be very strategic and tactical. It's not just about paying lip service to it and doing social media. Social media does not win elections.
Absolutely not.
Boots on the ground wins elections. A will wins elections. A vision wins elections. And it's the people that understand that and are willing to put their will, their boots, their actions, and create a vision. Whether it's for the negative, it will work for you. Whether it's for the positive, it will work for you. Success responds to principles. And if you follow those principles, success is the reward you get.
What 3 books will you recommend for the youth of Africa?
Wow. Number 1 is The Purpose-Driven Life, Rick Warren.
Beautiful.
The second book will be The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho.
Beautiful.
The third book will be the Bible. And read all 3 together. Because you know what? There's a perfect synchrony and alignment between the 3. But make sure you read the Bible not as a religious book. Read it as a book of case studies, a book of principles, a book of history, a book where you find yourself in history as Egypt, as the Kush tribe, as the black man. They said that the white man brought, Christianity to Africa, right? But you know what? The Ethiopian eunuch was reading the scriptures, didn't understand it. And then Peter came to meet him and said, do you understand what you're reading? He says, no. And then he taught him the scriptures. And then he brought it to Africa. And then the white man says, I'm the one that brought, there's just so much that is hidden in that book, the Bible. So don't read it as a religious book. Read it as a book of codes, a book of principles, a history book that helps you identify yourself. And when you read The Alchemist, find yourself in it as a character. Let it highlight your life and your journey. And then The Purpose-Driven Life is very powerful. It's a 42-page, 42-chapter book. Read a chapter a day and pray and ask God each day to reveal your purpose to you, to make sure that you fall in line with His perfect will for you and His purpose and His destiny for you. Those 3 books will shape your life.
Thank you, Dr. Olushola.
Thank you.
In these few days in Ghana, where will we find you? If I want to catch you, where will I find you?
So interestingly, you know, I came to run a master class, you know, and you know, I'm just focusing on that. If I'm not working, I'm just chilling.
That's what I wanted to ask. The chilling part, no. Yeah. In Ghana, we say the chilling part, no. What would you be doing for chilling?
Well, I'm going to be chilling in my hotel. And my favorite hotel is Labadi.
I'm coming there. I'm coming to Labadi.
That's my favorite chilling spot, you know, where I get to sit on the balcony and, you know, have breakfast, lunch, or dinner, and just watch the fountains and just be in nature. It's just beautiful.
The catalyst, Dr. Olushola, has been my guest this morning on Motivation Monday. I am certain you have taken something away from this conversation. I wish we could continue, but this is all time has for us. We're still watching the AM Club right here on MX24 TV. Quickly, you're on social media, I believe.
Yes, I am.
The handles?
At Lanre Olushola, and no H in the Olushola. It's just OLUSOLA. So on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, at Lanre Olushola.
What's the best way to send you questions?
Yes, just send me a DM.
A DM?
You know, just slide into my DM or just send me an email at hello@thecatalyst.ng.com.
Slide into the DM. Thank you very much, Olushola.
Thank
Keep
you.
watching. We'll be back.
Careful with antibiotics. Antibiotics are one of the most popular treatments for bacterial infections in the world. They help us get rid of harmful bacteria that can cause diseases such as typhoid, tuberculosis, and cholera, among others. However, abusing the use of antibiotic treatments can have a worse effect on our systems, with the biggest threat of all being antibiotic resistance. Antibiotic resistance is one of the biggest public health threats in our generation and happens when germs like bacteria and fungi develop the ability to defeat the drugs designed to kill them. Once bacteria and fungi become more powerful than the drugs used to treat them, it can lead to higher medical costs, prolonged hospital stays, and increased mortality. Antibiotics are losing their power because of misuse and overuse in humans. Make sure you only take antibiotics if prescribed by a qualified health professional. And once prescribed, always make sure to complete the treatment days as instructed. Never share antibiotics and never abuse its use.
Need the best of in-depth analysis, top personality interviews, trending and breaking news all come your way. I'll be serving you with football conversations, life-hearted, lifestyle-related conversations, all on Off the Cuff. Join me, Derrick and this and every Monday to Friday between 4 and 5 p.m. only on MX24 TV.
Okay, sweet, but girl, your love is sweeter. My hair, it day for my hair. I know fit to reset.
The gossip, maybe I was born faithful until the first female suddenly broke a vow.
I feel like you don't be my baby.
What
If I broke, now my business. I'll show you go buy to.
And you know, I hire a permanent fan. Yeah, free cocoa, bingo, yeah, bad things go from a side.
No hands, still I can't believe. You know what I mean? I was young, what you expect from me? It is what it is.
Utumiye manibo adwini ntiasieso bibiara nsono ye oh dia waka nebemu dia oshe nejina bibiara nsono ye oh, Gideonia, 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 Yamiwa, Gideonia, 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 Yamiwa.
Wow.
Taking us to church this morning. Ooh, my goodness. I felt like you should just go on and go on and on and on and on, but we definitely have to talk to you. Welcome to our studio.
Thank you so much.
It's good to have you.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, guys, welcome back. You're watching the AM Club on MX24 TV. Emefa and I are here to treat you to the fun, fearless, and factual stuff. And Brian Kufo is here with the fun stuff.
We always tell you that when we plug you, be pluggable. Okay.
Yeah, man.
So the first song that you did, GDA.
Yeah.
Godwin, guess what? So many people have composed about faith, GDA. I'm sure you hear the song and you feel like, oh, I've heard something similar. But this one sends shivers down your spine. You know, it's quite different. What about GDA that made this GDA different?
Okay, I think what made this song different is the fact that it's a song that was birthed from a place where I could find myself in. You know, I needed faith myself to move to the next step, or in what like something I wanted to do. So I needed that faith, and at that point, that's where the song came. So it's a song that ministers to myself personally. So as it ministers to me, the passion in which I used to sing is different. You get it? Yeah.
Makes sense.
So it's not just about writing a song about faith.
Yeah.
It's you going through the process, having that experience
Exactly,
yourself.
it has to speak to you yourself.
And oh, nice. I was going to say, why did you feel like that GD has a reggae version of it when you were singing? I was just imagining you bumping.
Okay.
It's so cool.
Wow.
So cool. Beautiful song. But Brian, how long have you been singing?
Oh, for a very long time, since I was a kid, I've been doing it because dad and mom also were into singing. They were into music when they were young. So I've been doing it professionally. I've been doing it for like almost like 7 years now. Yes, professionally. But I've been doing it all my life actually. Yes, but professionally it's been 7 years.
Correct me if I'm wrong. You have an R&B tone, right? Not to limit you, but you can do R&B.
Yeah, I'm very versatile.
Okay.
That's it.
Nice.
Depending on the situation, I want to just.
But I'm wondering why you chose gospel.
It's a calling.
It's a calling.
Have you sung a love song to your wife or girlfriend before? Why do I ask that question? Okay, come back to the spirit. Forgive me. Come back. Stay in the spirit. Stay under the anointing.
Yeah, God is love, so I mean, if it's about love, I'll do it for my wife, of course.
Right.
Did you write GDA yourself?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
I did. For me, mostly the song drops in my spirit. You know, it's different that I've decided to sit under a tree or in a couch to write. But for GDA, I was singing, and then it dropped in my spirit, and I began to sing it as well.
Okay.
So that's what happened. So a bit of the song dropped, then you work on it as time goes on to make it a whole.
I mean, you've said that you've been singing since you were a child, but it's been professional in the last 7 years. But before the 7 years, what were you up to? What were you doing?
Okay, so before the 7 years, it's been school and then work.
Okay.
You know, it's been school and then work. Yes. So.
Are you doing music full time now?
Not full time as in full time. That's the end goal. That's what I really want to do. That's what gives me the inner peace and inner satisfaction. So it's something I want to do as a full time.
Let me tell you the meaning of inner peace in Eve.
Oh my goodness, it's her name.
It's called Emefa.
Oh wow,
yes,
that's special.
So
I mentioned your
the
name.
The end game is worth it. Okay.
Wow.
She is inner peace indeed. 6-7 years of singing, it must be very challenging.
Yeah, it has. It has.
What's your biggest challenge so far? Recording? Okay. Some people say recording is expensive. You go and pay studio fees and all that. But you have. I'm on a sack here, so you don't have a problem.
You know, Amano has to eat. You know. So recording is very challenging because it's capital intensive. You need BVs, you need instrumentalists. The song has to be mixed, mastered, and you need to promote it. That's where the money comes in, the promotion of the song, getting TV stations, radio stations, and all that. But hey, this is what you want to do. So and there is no job which is easy. I mean, everything is difficult, but you just have to focus.
Brian, question. With a kind of voice, I mean, Godwin said that you've got that R&B kind of voice. Have you nursed the idea, maybe perhaps, that if you were doing love songs or anything outside of gospel, you would make a lot of money?
Oh, not really.
With faith?
Not really. I've not
You think that you've not thought about it?
I've not thought of doing anything aside gospel. It's not something I want to even think of because for me, I feel it's a calling. So it's not something I'll do.
Okay. You should write a Bible verse about you. The man who never wavered. Stood firm. Well, who would you like to work with, or who have you worked with first of all?
Okay, I've worked with Joe. I did a song 2019 with Joe Metal. Yes, it's called Obiara Cell. He featured on it. Yeah, he did me the honor of featuring on it. He's been an amazing person. He's been a go-to. He's been a father to not just me but many of us. Yeah. So yes, he featured on it. I also have a song I released last year, Forever. So I've released like 3 singles.
Okay.
Yes.
In the last 3 years?
Yeah, in 3 years.
Okay.
I've released 3 singles. So there's a third one. GD is a third
All the
one.
3, which one is your favorite?
Wow. It will be difficult to choose, but GDA speaks to me so much. So I really love it.
Even me, it speaks to me.
Yeah.
Wow. I really, really like it.
How is it doing? How long ago did you release GDA?
GDA is 4 weeks old.
Okay.
Yeah, GDA is just 4 weeks old.
Okay.
How's it doing?
It's doing well. I mean, the concentration is on impact. The feedback you get when people hear the song is phenomenal. I've not received that from any of my songs. The kind of feedback I got, the kind of testimonies people are bringing about GDA is fantastic.
I mean, you have a bedrock of like, GDA and all, but which one of the testimonies did you hear then you're like, whoa, wow. Because of this, I'm not giving up on gospel music.
Okay, for GDA, I've received a lot, but in my music career, one of the most amazing testimonies I received was one of the days I was ministering somewhere, and there was a lady who has been looking for a child for like 10 years since she married. She said, whilst I was ministering, she sowed a seed.
Okay.
Okay. You're still watching the AM Club. We're talking to Brian Kufuor, and he has a song for you. Check it out. We'll be right back. Such a beautiful song by Brian Kufuor, who is with us here in the studio. But all too soon, we have to run away from here. We're done and dusted. Monday edition of the AM Club. I'd like to say a big thank you to everybody who's been part of the show, especially those of you who sent your daily dose of vim from the beginning. Come on, guys. We said before 7, so we can read them out, okay? I realized that a lot were...
Most of you, I was hoping I could read them out for you. And I've also seen all of your messages about the Mandela Day that we celebrated here today. And also the comments about the 18 people that were invited to the birthday. And also your comments to Brian Kufuor. We'll read them out to him after the show. But thank you so much, Brian. You will take us home. Thank you for joining us on the AM Club once again. My name is Emefa Akosiadeti. Mr. Nambo. His name is Mr. Nambo.
My name is Godwin.
Sometimes Godwin.
Nambo. Salam is what? God loves me. And Emefa is in a peace.
Yes, in a peace.
Proceed on.
All right.
Brian?
So the song is available on all the streaming platforms, right?
Yes, it's on all digital platforms, iTunes, Deezer, wherever.
Okay.
And the video was released 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
It's on YouTube too. And the name is Brian Kofo.
Brian
Kofo. Brian is B-R-I-A-N.
Yes, everywhere on social media, everywhere.
Okay.
And on YouTube too.
Okay, that's an easy name, guys. Go follow him and get inspired by some good music.
Indeed. Brian, so what do you have for us? What are we going home with?
Okay, so I'll do the song I did with Joe.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
shall
yes,
we?
Thank you all for the opportunity.
Come on.
Ah.
Very grateful.
I like your dimple.
Thank you, Emefa.
Yesu Cristo, Bomiyohi, Obiara, Intewo, Yesu Cristo, Bomiyohi,
Need the best of in-depth analysis, top personality interviews, trending and breaking news all come your way. I'll be serving you with football conversations, life-hearted, lifestyle-related conversations, all on Off the Cuff. Join me, Derrick and this and every Monday to Friday between 4 and 5 p.m. only on MX24 TV.